25-04, which is 39 Summer Ave. And I have an email here from them asking for a continuance. So I just got a motion to approve.
I'll motion to approve, motion to accept the request to continue.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, great. Moving right along, we're gonna do case number 25-08, 57 Pearl Street. So the zoning board of appeals will hold a public hearing in the select board meeting room at Town Hall, 16 Lowell Street, Reading, Massachusetts, on Tuesday, July 1st, 2025, at 7 p.m. on the application of Ian Smart, pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 40A, Section 10, for a variance under Reading zoning bylaw, Section 4.5.1.1, 4.5.2, 6.3, 7.0, and 7.4, as may be determined by the zoning board, to construct a front addition, covered landing and stairs, the non-conforming front yard setback on the property located at 57 Pearl Street, Assessors Map 28, Lot 78 in Reading, Massachusetts. Unless there's an objection, I'll dispense with reading the abutters list, except if I say that abutters were notified as per the following: Select Board, the Town Clerk, the Police Department, Fire Department, Building Department, Conservation Commission, Health Department, Assessor's Office, Engineering Division, CPC, the members and associate members of the Board of Appeals, as well as the planning boards of Wakefield, Linfield, North Reading, Stoneham, Woburn, and Wilmington. So the testimony given before this board is taken under oath, so if you think you want to speak on this case, please stand and raise your right hand. I swear the testimony given by me before this board will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Response, just I do.
I do.
All right, great, thank you. Yeah, so are you Ian Smart or?
No,
Oh, okay.
I'm a neighbor on Belmont Street.
Oh, okay.
I live right around the corner.
Okay.
Unfortunately, they're stuck in DC at their daughter's soccer tournament at the airport right now.
Okay.
So he said it's a possibility, so he did fill me in. We had a discussion the other night, and
Okay.
I'm here to represent them. They said it would be okay, so
Okay.
here I am.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds
Okay.
good.
I was aware I did talk to him, he said like someone would be here,
Okay.
whether it was him or his neighbor.
Okay. Great. Sorry. Can you just say your name?
Oh.
Sorry. You have a question?
I'm in a butter, so I'd also like an opportunity
Okay.
to speak, so.
Yeah. Yeah. So if anyone wants to speak at all tonight,
So-
why don't you just?
Mark Ventura, 142
Yeah.
Belmont Street.
Okay.
In Reading.
Thank you. Yeah, so just to get this out of the way, if anyone wants to speak on anything tonight, if you could just stand and take the oath, that would make it easier for.
Can you do it?
Okay. You don't have to be doing that.
That's all right.
Testimony given before this board is taken under oath. So I swear the testimony given by me before this board will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. In response, just I do.
I do.
Great, thank you. Okay. Sorry for that interruption, but yeah, if you just want to give us a brief rundown of what they want to do, or anything that you
Yeah,
have
so
to say.
I don't have any visuals, unfortunately. I do have a small site plan. I hope
Okay.
we can pass it around, but you can see.
We've got, we have the site plan
Oh, you do?
already
Okay.
as part of the.
So they'd like to just, the only thing we're really talking about is the portico in the front, because that's where we're looking for the variance for the purposes of this meeting. I don't know anything else that's going on that. So right now, the house is sort of flat in the front, and it's their main entrance. There's no shelter from guests or anyone that comes in. They're looking for, I believe, 4.6 feet for the zoning setback for the variance. On there. That will enable them to give shelter to the people in, give them a little mudroom. And actually, if you look at the architectural drawings up above that front entrance, the existing condition, there's like a 3-foot wide long closet, deep closet that's almost useless. This would open that up and give their daughter a much needed closet space in the house.
Okay.
That's really about it.
Okay, great, thank you.
Thank you.
Does anyone on the board have any comments or questions, or?
I guess my question is this a variance or a permit?
It's a variance.
Variance.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a variance on the front yard zoning setback.
Yeah.
I know we had something like this on, I forget what it was, but they wanted to do a porch or something, I think
Yeah, they're on Washington Street.
it was Washington Street. I forget I know Cindy and Chris always come up with the codes, but I think having the, already a masonry wall out there coming up, I know it's something about impeding the sidewalk, but it's already there, the land and that. I think
I'll go to a photo.
it does give much more character to the house. And I believe
I have a photo of the front if you wanna.
yeah, we
pass
have it right here.
Oh, you do have a
Yeah.
photo?
There's no variance on the side. It's 18 feet, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, my issue is, I mean, I'm not sure, you're not the homeowner, so I'm not sure how much this is gonna mean to you necessarily, but we have very strict criteria under the town bylaws about issuing variances. And there's basically 4 factors that all have to be true. And the first factor is that there's something unique about the lot itself, either a weird shape or something wrong with the soil, you can't build on the whole thing, something like that. That makes it that you know, that you really need to have a variance in order to use it. And that's why in this application, those questions are asked in order to get the answers to those factors. And the answer in the application to that particular question, number 1, is basically, no, there isn't anything. So right there, for myself, I have to think, and you know, I looked at the other factors as well too, but I don't think the factors for granting a variance are met in this case, under the rules that we have to follow, unfortunately. And you know, we have to follow the rules. We can't, much as we would like to. I agree that it looks very flat, although also to me, it feels very close to the road already.
Yes.
And making it any closer would be very,
I'd be curious about other homes on there, cause they seem closer sometimes.
mean-
I'll have to check.
I mean,
but
I didn't,
Along Pearl Street, there are
Yeah.
definitely some that
They are not.
closer.
I measured
Yeah.
mine, I'm across the street, I'm 27 feet
Yep.
from.
yeah, so I mean, and that's actually one reason why getting a variance is so difficult, so as not to establish a precedent that would allow the whole neighborhood to do the same thing and you know, completely change the character of the neighborhood. I did go there myself and looked, and and even if the criteria were met, I mean, one of the last criteria is that the relief does not detriment the public, in this case, in other words, the rest of the neighborhood. And to me, like I said, I don't think it really meets any of the criteria, but that one too, just because the house already feels very close to the road compared to the others. And it is, I mean, it's pretty close to it's legal, but it's right there. And adding to it would, you know, make it even worse. So for myself, I would have to say that I've got concerns about our ability to allow this. But I'll let other people speak to it if they want to.
So are we bound by that law or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the town bylaws.
I think it's a state law, right?
Yeah, which is an adaptation of the state law, yeah.
You know, it's funny, we slammed in all this high density housing with really subpar parking ratios that does have a detrimental effect on this town.
Mhm.
With parking, with traffic and everything else. Here, a nice family that's been in Reading for a long time, that's part of the community, is looking to put a little covered portico to give them a little bit of a mudroom. They're still almost 16 feet away from the street. There is a 3, you know, it varies in height, but probably on average a 3-foot stone retaining wall in front of the house right along the sidewalk.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
I'm really, I mean, it literally says, no variance shall be issued unless the zoning board of appeals finds these 4 factors. We have to find that all 4 factors are true, or we're not allowed to issue a variance. And that's, you know, that's where our hands are really tied.
Can they revisit it and maybe
I would,
see if there
Yeah,
are 4 factors?
I mean, maybe, I'm not sure if a lawyer was used for this application or a builder or anything like that. I understand that it can be hard for a
Yeah.
layman, you know, to do it, but
I'm in construction. I was, before I got into project management, I was a civil engineer.
oh, okay. So
So I
you-
know all
Yep.
this zoning stuff.
Yeah.
As I am just representing them, because they're stuck in DC, and I do not want them to have to wait 2 years to refile. This is something they really want for their family. They want to invest in their home. I would request that we postpone this then. until they get back and reschedule, unless there's a chance right now we can get it to pass, but
Okay, yeah, I guess like for myself, I think I agree with everything that Cindy said, so.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and that would be the right thing to do, is to continue the
Yeah.
case.
that's what I'm,
Application
because I don't
remains
wanna have
open.
to come back and tell them the bad news and, oh, you have to
Yeah.
wait 2 years.
And they could
So-
come back and with a more,
Now, this is-
with a
and
this
further
is only for the front
understanding of
portico. The
the
rest of the
regulation.
Rest of the
Yep.
stuff, there's no variance required or whatever,
Absolutely.
so that's by
There is a
right.
variance required, they're moving their front
hold
facade
on,
out 2
hold on.
feet.
We're gonna do public comment in 1 second, so.
Um,
Okay, it's just that this has been going on for a few minutes, I
But
wanna
they-
have a chance to
In the
speak.
addition on the side, they meet all the zoning setbacks, so they're able to do that by right. The front portico that they wanna push out and put the little mudroom and give their daughter a usable closet upstairs, that's what we're seeking the variance on.
Can I have a chance to speak?
So-
I think we're good for, open for public comment, right?
I'm-
Yeah,
Yeah,
go
okay.
ahead, open for public comment. yeah.
Okay, so first thing is they're moving the front entry
Ma'am, I'm
out
sorry,
to-
could you state your name first and
Michelle,
your,
58 Pearl Street,
Okay.
so I'm the abutter across the street.
okay,
So, number one, I think the lot's supposed to be 15,000 square feet. It's 14,259, so it's a non-conforming lot, which means they would need, I think, a special variance to do the portion they're not looking, a special permit. But the variance is asking to move the facade out 2 feet and then a covered porch. So we're asking for almost 5 feet to push out, which means the stairs will almost be on the sidewalk.
Yeah, I agree with that.
There's stairs there now.
But stairs don't count if they don't have a covered porch, isn't that
No, I'm
correct?
saying there's stairs there now.
But that's on a covered porch,
According to
There's a
this,
separate set of stairs there.
yes.
And
would
Mason was
have-
as part of the retaining wall.
His walkway would shorten up. That's it.
Right, but that's a whole run of stairs with no open space.
It's a set of stairs, but the walkway would shorten up, that's about it.
Okay.
There's already a.
I think we
Are
agree with that.
you here for the 57 Pearl, or are you
Here
here
to-
for the board?
I'm here to understand your concerns.
That we're not meeting the 4 criteria for a variance and that we're doing a continuation because people didn't plan properly to be here?
I think that's not quite right. I think
Oh,
we
it
all-
is, you put in an application,
Mike, you
the
know what?
meeting's in
Wait,
July.
I just wanna say that.
You're
continuance-
emotional about this. You-
Okay,
I'm not
Explain it.
emotional.
Yeah.
I mean, I had to attend this meeting to have the abutter say, and I made it to the meeting, and now we're gonna continue it because the homeowner wasn't here.
I think that,
I think it's legit, he's not here to
I think
represent
that-
himself.
continuances are very common, like we already have in other cases continued, that's just kind of a part of the process.
What's
that
the
happens.
reasoning for the continuance?
They're not here.
I think it's because often we have feedback from people, like just we had feedback for this gentleman and this property, and they wanna reevaluate what they're doing for the next time. So it's very common to get feedback, go back and forth, take a couple iterations to go through this
It also
process.
gives them a chance to review and see if they can meet the variance criteria, if there is a way that they can look
They have
at it.
0.4 feet to work with. They're at 20.4 and the setback's 20.
Yeah, I mean, I
if
think,
they can't meet the criteria, then they're not going to get the variance, but they're entitled to, you know, have the best opportunity to present their application. And I don't know what the circumstances are as far as them not being here. However, even if they were here, they would have a right, and having listened to us, they would have a right to request a continuance in order to review and re-present
Okay.
in light of our input.
And at the next meeting, if they don't attend, then what happens?
We could,
Sir, do you know when they would want it continued to? Would it be the August meeting or the September meeting? Do you know?
Just made his flight now, so
Okay,
we can
Can't
continue
reach
to the August.
I'll have to have them reach back out to you.
we could continue to August, and if that doesn't work for them, they could contact the office and ask for a further continuance to September. We can't leave it open indefinitely. We need to have,
Yeah.
you
Well, they
know,
want this,
a
I mean,
next date.
obviously, they've
but-
engaged an architect, they wanna move forward. You know, I think the lot size is existing non-conforming. You just can't tie someone's hands on that. So I think the only issue that was brought up while we're here is the front portico. And,
It's not, it's the entry and the portico.
well, that's your issue, but the reason why I'm here
It's not my
is-
issue, it's
is-
what they're
Okay,
requesting.
let one person at a time, please.
The reason for this hearing is for the variance on the setback, which the only setback they're in violation of is the front portico. So you're welcome to bring up anything else whenever you want, but that's the point of this discussion. So if we can continue it, if it's not gonna happen tonight, I have no problem with that. I would just like to be able to continue it by right. So when they are here, they can come. It was a last minute thing. The plane got delayed.
Yep.
I am here as a friend, a neighbor. I'm also a town meeting member. You know, I would just hope the zoning board would just consider, you know, the impact it will have on the family. There's already a walk there, there's 2 sets of stairs. You're pushing everything out 4.6 feet.
So
So,
we understand that,
That's
it's
all.
what Cindy says,
No, I
when our
understand-
hands
I
are bound.
understand. I'm not gonna-
If you can do your homework and figure it out, I mean,
yeah,
I'm just to answer your question, we're all from Reading.
Mm-hmm.
We're all here to work together, we're not here to insult anybody, or we're trying to help, and if we could help, we could help.
okay, can you
That's all.
just
I don't know
relist the
them
4
or the
criteria,
customers.
please, so I can just
Well,
relay that
let me,
to them?
I won't do that, but I'm just gonna refer you to the exact section of the bylaw,
Yeah,
which
no,
is
that's
available
fine
on the
too. I'll look it
website.
up.
It's section 4.5.2.1,
5.2.1.
and then the 4 criteria, A through D, are right there.
Okay. I
I just-
will relay that information to them and let them work with their design team. Like I said, I'm just here to represent as a friend, that's all.
And I want to be clear too, because I think you actually were correct, it's not just the portico that's in violation, it is the entire bump out that needs a variance. So just to make sure you communicate that.
Well, yeah, and that's the portion that's getting bumped
But-
out, but what I was told by them was the thing in question was the front yard setback. All other setbacks fall within the zoning criteria, setback criteria.
Yeah, I just want to be clear, like the.
So
the
if there's any
portico is
other
the roof
information
part.
that I need to relay to them, where they may have to investigate or come up with some answers, I'd like to leave here knowing
They should,
that.
they should come in with their architect and maybe, who's the contractor?
Again.
Oh, they should come in with those
Just the
people if
neighbor.
they
I'm in
really,
commercial.
To the extent that any part of their proposed changes is within 20 feet of the front yard, of the front line, they need a variance.
And it's
So-
not, so
Okay.
anyways, all right, that's all I have to say. I will let them know.
My neighbor at 56 Pearl wanted to know if she could provide a written statement, because she also opposes this
Yeah, absolutely.
variance request.
She can submit that to Amanda.
Okay,
and
by
we can-
email or?
Was that
That's fine.
56 Pearl too?
We can read that into the record next time. I move to close public comment.
Second that.
All in favor?
Alright, let's,
Motion to continue?
I move to continue, cause the applicant couldn't be here
57.
until August, and if they wanna follow up with Amanda and choose a different date.
Is there a certain date in August?
It's the first Tuesday.
First Tuesday in
Is it
August.
5th?
5. No
I'll
problem.
second that.
All in favor?
That'll give them some time to get some answers for you. So,
Thank you.
thank you very much.
I need to
You wanna sit in the
recuse,
audience or-
I need to go recuse myself for this
Sounds
case. Oh, you're putting on a different hat.
Yeah.
put your helmet on.
Okay.
I was wondering beforehand.
We put that on record.
Yeah, sure, so just for the record, Tara has recused himself for the case. Okay, so we're going to move on to case number.
Just before we start, I just don't want anybody getting emotional.
Yeah, we can talk about that. So we're gonna go on to case number 25-09, 111 Pleasant Street. The zoning board of appeals will hold a public hearing in the select board meeting room at Town Hall, 16 Lowell Street, Reading, Massachusetts, on Tuesday, July 1st, 2025, 7 p.m. On application of Taylor Gregory pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 48, Chapter 48, Section 9 for a special permit under Reading zoning bylaws, Section 6.3, 7.0, 6.3, 7.3.2, construct a deck on an existing non-conforming structure with a non-conforming side yard setback from a property located at 111 Pleasant Street, assessors map 22, lot 16 in Reading, Massachusetts. Unless there's an objection, I will dispense with the reading of the butters list, except to say that the butters were notified as per the following. The select board, the town clerk, police department, fire department, building department, conservation commission, health department, assessor's office, engineering division, CPDC, and the members and associate members of the board of appeals, as well as the planning boards of Wakefield, Linfield, North Reading, Stoneham, Granite, Wilmington. I think you're already sworn in. Either of you want to speak on this case, or have you already been sworn in? I think you were, are you interested in speaking to, or?
Stephen Crook, 137 Pleasant Street, couple
Okay.
houses down.
Okay.
Just came to speak in favor of the.
Okay, sorry, so I'm just gonna swear you in for now, and then you can talk
Okay.
later, okay? So I just swear the testimony given by me before this board will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. In response, just I do.
I do.
Okay, great. So you can sit down for now, and then I'll open up the public comment later, thank you. All right, you wanna give us a little overview?
Alright. Good evening, my name is Taylor Gregory. I'm one of the homeowners at the property at 111 Pleasant Street. Before I present my case, I have a few disclosures that I need to make. I'm an associate member of the Zoning Board of Appeals. I was appointed in 2024 and recently reappointed by the Volunteer Appointment Subcommittee. I did not have business before the ZBA through the VAST process. My application interview occurred before applying for the special permit. My contractor applied for the building permit, and it wasn't clear until after I was done with the VAST process that I would be the one applying for the special permit with the ZBA because I'm familiar with the process. I've not discussed the specifics of my case with anyone on the ZBA. I've discussed administrative matters with Amanda Beatrice and staff, on town staff. So my project. My spouse and I are looking to build a deck between our house and driveway. Our home was originally built in 1850 before zoning bylaws were in place. Our house is 2.2 feet from the property line shared with 97 Pleasant Street, and it's considered a non-conforming structure. The deck we are proposing measures 8.8 feet from the side yard setback, so we're not creating a worse condition than what already exists on the property. We've spoken to both of our immediate neighbors on both sides, and both have expressed support for the project. The ZBA approved a similar project during the June 2025 meeting, case 25-6, that replaced their existing deck with one that extends the length of their house without further encroaching on the side yard setback. I'd like to ask that the board approve my special permit and allow my project to proceed. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Any comments from the board?
No.
Looks pretty straightforward, I mean, it's further away from the
Yeah,
line, so.
I just found out about it.
Yeah.
It's, it wraps around your house on the opposite side.
Yeah, it's contained before the bulk, so it'll be between the driveway and the bulkhead, basically.
I'm surprised you didn't just go a little bit bigger, no?
We thought about it, but like the contractor thought it would be a harder time getting the permits to replace the bulkhead as well, so we just stopped
I
short
meant
without
the other
having.
way, where you're conforming.
What?
The
By the
corner,
driveway.
yeah, by the driveway, or maybe towards the yard, you know?
Great.
I'm confused.
Yeah, I think he's just saying you could have made it bigger.
No
if you wanted
ideas
to,
here.
Oh.
Oh, the deck, you wanna enjoy.
but-
Yeah, so basically, we're just having it run the length, and then it's gonna be like a one step down to the yard.
Nice. Great.
Okay,
Any other board comments?
no, this is a special permit of a non-conforming lot without substantially increasing the non-conformance.
Mhm.
It's,
Let's open up the public comment then, if either of you want to speak on this, go ahead. Sure.
Thank you, Andrew. Appreciate you giving me the opportunity. Amanda Haley, 71 Tennyson Road. Taylor Gregory should have recused themselves entirely from the Zoning Board of Appeals proceedings related to their special permit application for a deck on a non-conforming structure due to the clear conflict of interest. As an associate member of the ZBA, Taylor had a duty to disclose any potential or pending
Excuse me,
business.
Can I just ask something? What's the conflict of interest?
I'm getting to it. The conflict of interest is that she's on, that they are on the board, but I'm getting to it.
I know, but does that restrict everybody?
This is public
I don't wanna
comment.
get into a whole
Let her
like
finish.
3-hour
Right.
comment.
This is public comment.
Okay,
Yeah, go ahead, please. Thank you.
As an associate member of the ZBA, Taylor had a duty
this is not the select board
let her finish.
where they play political games and talk and insult.
Frank, we can hold it for now.
Yeah, but we wanna make sure this doesn't come.
She's got a right to speak.
Frank,
just let her
everybody
speak,
has a
okay?
right to speak.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
Taylor had a duty to disclose any potential or pending business before the board during the reappointment process of the Volunteer Appointment Selected Committee, VASC, on June 9th, 2025. Although no appeal was formally pending at the time of the interview, Taylor was aware of the likelihood of filing appeal for the deck permit as evidenced by the denial of similar permit on May 28th, 2025, and their subsequent appeal on filing on June 10th, conveniently one day after the VASC interview. The property's longstanding nonconformity documented since its purchase in 2020 and referenced in 2022 ZBA appeal for similar further indicates that Taylor knew or should have known the potential for future ZBA business. Additionally, Taylor was present at the select board meeting on June 24th, 2025, where Karen Gately Herrick emphasized that applicants should disclose pending or anticipated business before the board. Taylor's failure to speak up at that meeting or disclose the impending appeal during the VASC interview violated this expectation. Moreover, Taylor has been noticeably vocal about alleged conflicts of interest involving other residents and neighbors serving on other boards, yet when faced with their own potential conflict, they took zero action to address it proactively. By pursuing this appeal, Taylor has placed the ZBA, the very board they serve on, a difficult position of having to vote for or against a fellow board member's project. This should require the ZBA to review the past 3 to 5 years of deck setback applications to assess how many were approved or denied and determine how often, if ever, a board has come before their own board with a personal project, further complicating the board's decision-making process and potentially undermining public trust. Instead of having the property owner, Andrew Gregory, file the June 10th, 2025 appeal application as was done in 2022, Taylor chose to submit the application in their own name. To maintain impartiality and uphold the integrity of the ZBA, Taylor should have recused themselves of any involvement in their own appeal to avoid the very appearance of bias or undue influence. That precisely is what my husband did when we went with our own project before the Conservation Committee. We've also dealt with Glenn, the building inspector, for our deck. Our deck side setback was off by a couple inches and he noticed immediately. This deck is over 6 feet, is off by over 6 feet, and so is the entire dwelling. This will exacerbate negative effects on the neighborhood compared to the current state of the home and further increase nonconformity. The 2022 addition went up, matching the character of other homes in the area. This is going out both sides of the property lines, almost touching another driveway and violating both neighbors' setbacks, substantially different. My biggest issue with this is that one day after the appointment, the appeal was filed under Taylor's name when it was originally filed under Andrew's name. Thanks.
Thank you. Yeah, do you have anything to say on the case?
Stephen Crook, 137 Pleasant Street, and in a butter, a couple of houses down. I have no problem with the addition. It appears to be put on the side away from the side that's closest to the property line there, so it doesn't increase the nonconformity any. The line of the thing down the side is even with the edge of the house, so from the street's not visually extending out any farther than the existing structure is. And there's plenty of setback to the rear, so without an increase in nonconformity, I have no problem with it whatsoever. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So let me ask you this, is there anything legally wrong with this, or after that, what she's mentioned, or something we have to look into?
Do you want to take this since
Sure. I personally would say that any ethical issue that public has with this should be taken up with the town. I will handle it the same way I would handle anyone's application, and I wasn't aware that she was even presenting today. I do have 2 questions though. Do you live at the property?
Do I?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm married to the homeowner.
Okay, so you're on the deed.
Yes.
Okay, I would handle it any other applicant.
So I guess why the name change? One day after being reappointed to this board?
That's not what's in front of me.
That's.
do you want to just respond to that just to get it open?
I am the one on the ZBA. My husband is not familiar with the process, so I was the one that went through the process for it. My contractor applied for the building permit. I had no idea until I went to review the email from Amanda on 6/10 because I didn't know that I was the one applying for the special permit until I was done with the VASC process on June 9th.
Okay, so I guess my concern here is that you are on the ZBA. My husband is on the select board. I did the entire process myself for the entire project in our yard. I have no idea what I was talking about. I brought my contractor here. I did everything. While I could have had my husband do it because there was a massive conflict of interest.
Okay,
And not to mention the fact that what they're asking for is ludicrous. Like Glenn noticed by inches. This is feet.
okay, Ma'am, let me try to address this a little bit for you, and I appreciate your, you know, what you are thinking of and the potential conflict, and we all take very seriously our obligations to, would you let me speak, please?
I didn't open my mouth.
Okay, sorry, it looked like you were about to. We all take our obligations very seriously. We are required to take courses and then take refresher courses now and then regarding our ethical obligations. I can speaking for myself, I did not even realize, not remembering what the last name was, that this was an application of a
I had no idea.
of a member. We have never discussed it. I see Taylor for, you know, a half hour once a month, if that, because I miss meetings and, you know, all of us miss meetings now and then. We have never discussed this. I did not even realize until just as this meeting was, or actually into this meeting, that it involved a member. And I can assure you that there has not been any sort of side conversation regarding this. I don't know what your own situation is with your husband being on the select board and what you were trying to do. Perhaps that wasn't necessary. I have no idea.
Oh,
But
it was.
in this
Numerous conservation.
in this case, I'm confident that whatever we decide to do, it's going to be in conformance with the rules that we have to follow. Now, as far as the special permit itself goes, because the property is non-conforming, it existed before the rules existed. It already did not comply with the rules when the rules were established. Therefore, it is grandfathered in. And a different process, you heard us to talk about potentially denying a variance earlier on in this meeting. It's a different set of standards for this particular situation. What we have to decide in this case is that the nonconformity, you know, because it already has a nonconformity, it's way too close to the sideline, but that's nobody's fault because there was no such thing as being way too close to the sideline when it was built. So it's nonconformant, which means that inherently, whenever you want to make a change to it, that's also going to be nonconformant. But that doesn't mean that you can't make a change. It just has to be in a way that does not increase the nonconformity. In this case, it doesn't. They're not getting any closer to the sideline. In fact, what they're building is further away from the sideline than the rest of the house. And I do not see that it violates the rules that we follow for this particular type of case. If we allow it, and I would be inclined to allow it, and I would say that whether it was a complete stranger to me or whether it was my sister, I would be inclined to allow it because it complies with the rules that we follow.
Okay, I just think it was very important to point out the conflict of interest. I think there also needs to be some investigation done. I'm hearing that Taylor's actually not on the deed, so I think that needs to be looked at.
It's also not required that the person who presents the application be an owner, so.
They could be a contractor.
You
or
heard
an
a
architect.
friend do it earlier.
But he wasn't the applicant, though.
Oh, okay,
That's
Right.
massively different.
okay.
He was just representing because somebody got
The
stuck.
contractors are also applicants too.
Yeah, we frequently see that.
And just like to also address your concern about us applying the same standard equally, like Taylor represented a case we did in May. There was a very similar situation. It was a non-conforming deck on a non-conforming lot, and we granted it without any, you know, personal relationship to the applicant. So I think
it's also really important to bring up that Taylor just lied and said that they're on the deed and they're not. So, just FYI.
Actually, Taylor didn't say that.
She just said, he asked, Taylor said, yes, I am.
Okay, I'm not sure.
I'm not here, I wanted to make my point that there's a massive conflict of interest. Andrew was the original applicant, changed over to her one day after her appointment to this board. Thank you.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
All right.
Anybody else want to say anything?
Not really. Okay. Do we have a motion?
I think her frustration comes out from the way that select board is
I think, yeah, we can, discuss that
handles
here.
things.
Yeah.
But it's important, I want everybody to know that we're not going down that road, you know what I mean?
Understood.
Cause that,
Cynthia and I both stated it, but maybe you two stated on the record whether you had any
Okay.
information
Yeah,
beforehand.
I had no prior knowledge,
never
there's
even
no
knew that
conversation
she was on
outside of the,
fuck.
let
Yeah.
the record reflect.
I looked at the application without any knowledge that it was member.
I wouldn't have known.
Okay. And honestly, if Taylor's name had been on it, I still might not have made the connection.
I probably wouldn't either.
Because I don't usually look at the name in that way. All right, well, I'd like to then make a motion to grant the petitioner Gregory Andrew a special permit under section 3 of the bylaws, of the zoning bylaws of the non-conforming lot at 111 Pleasant Street in Reading, Mass. As shown on the certified plot plan prepared by David P. Terranzoni, PLS, dated May 5th, 2025. That was submitted with the application. And certified also by David Terranzoni. The special permit is subject to the following conditions. Number one, the petitioner shall submit to the building inspector a certified plot plan of the proposed construction and proposed foundation plans prior to the issuance of a foundation permit for the work. Number two, the petitioner's final construction plans for the new structure shall be submitted to the building inspector along with the as-built foundation plans prior to the issuance of a building permit. Number three, as-built plans showing the completed construction shall be submitted to the building inspector immediately after the work is completed and prior to the issuance of an occupancy permit.
Second, and just gonna note that it was also under the dimensional requirements under 6.3.
Oh, thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Alright, you're all set, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
We didn't get minutes today, right? I didn't review
Yeah,
it.
that's-
Yeah, I didn't see any.
Okay.
Okay.
I had 2 typos in here.
If you
Oh, you
do,
find it?
do you wanna move them, do you have to review them to the next
Oh,
meeting?
okay.
Yeah, we
You're
go.
more proactive, you're more tough than us.
Sorry, I wrote them before.
That was
Well, I
good.
think you guys have to vote, you all have to vote on it.
Right, yeah,
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 so
yeah.
we have
Let's- Yeah, let's push that to the next
We all
meeting
have to
then.
see it.
Okay.
Actually, if it was the June meeting, I don't care. I wasn't here.
Great, is there any other business?
My blood pressure is
I didn't put it on the agenda, but I know you won't be here
Yeah.
for the next meeting for the board reorganization. I know we typically do it at the beginning. It's up to you guys if you wanna like postpone it till like September 1, or if you
Okay.
just wanna keep things as is for now.
Let me check. I will also not be here the next meeting.
So it's August 8th. Okay.
What's that, August 5th?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe postpone then?
Okay.
Fine, everyone, okay.
We
Do what?
will have a new.
Just postpone the reorganization.
Oh, to September?
So it's 1,
Yeah.
2, 3. We will have another member.
okay.
We did appoint another member.
Oh, great.
They couldn't make it tonight and they had to be sworn in, so we should have hopefully enough people. And I will also let Pearl Street know that 2 people won't be there, so if they wanna
Okay.
postpone to like another
Right.
meeting. So we'll postpone to 9/5 for the board.
Just looking ahead, I have the same issue as last year where as of September, I have hockey practice Tuesday, Thursday
Tuesday, Thursday. Okay,
until like December,
that's at, I'm sorry, you said as of?
as of September 1st.
Okay.
Okay,
Motion to adjourn, I move to adjourn.
I will second.
All in favor?